Ревела по ночам, подушка была вся. Не знала даже, что и думать. А ну что я могу думать еще? Кто знает, де він, чи живий, чи ні. Если были дети, вы меня поняли. Того, что там в душе, и что у меня там было. Такое, что тяжело было на душе, и все. Это неизвестность, это яма.
An arrest warrant was issued today for Russian President Vladimir Putin, now formally charged by the International Criminal Court for war crimes in Ukraine for the unlawful transfer of children from occupied areas of Ukraine to Russia.
Its main Russian goals to re-educate them, to Russify, indoctrinate Ukrainian children, because they need Ukrainian children, but they want to make them Russian children first.
Do you recognize anyone there? They're Ukrainian kids.
Yes, це українські діти, да?
Нет. Были когда-то украинские.
These kids aren't Ukrainian anymore?
Ну, а чого ти кажеш, що вже не є українські?
То, что их захватили.
By the fall of 2022, towns and villages around Ukraine's second largest city and throughout the Kharkiv region had been under Russian occupation for about 6 months. Oksana Stitsensko and her 11-year-old son Nikita were living in the occupied village of Peshane. On September 1st, 2022, she sent Nikita to boarding school in the town of Kupiansk.
Ну, школа была нормальная. Там и сироты были, и малоотстающие детки. И такие, как у меня Никитка тоже, что далеко добираться. А там он все время был нормально. Он там как у себя домой приезжал.
That same week, Ukrainian forces launched a sweeping counteroffensive. As the fighting intensified around Kupiansk, Oksana headed north to pick up her son. But she was too late. On September 8th, 2022, Russian soldiers took 13 children hiding in the basement of the Kupiansk special school, including Nikita. Just 2 days later, Ukrainian forces liberated the town.
Why do you think Russia's doing this?
Я не знаю, зачем. Может, просто спасли. Но почему они вот на родину их назад не вернули? Вот это вот уже вопрос другой. Могли бы, ну, эвакуировали, да, спасибо большое. Ну так верните их назад.
Ukrainian officials have called the illegal transfer of children to Russia and Russian-occupied territory state-organized kidnapping, forced deportation, and part of a clear plan from the beginning. They say it was premeditated.
It's not about war itself. It's about intention to steal children from Ukrainian nation.
The Ukrainian government has identified nearly 20,000 Ukrainian kids who have been taken since February 2022. But officials in charge of bringing the kids home say the true number is in the hundreds of thousands.
Маємо навчити її, що наші люди не здадуть, а наші діти не стануть власністю окупантів.
The official Russian narrative depicts the Russian state as savior. Officials and pro-Kremlin media share videos of the Russian state's efforts to, in their words, evacuate children.
Дети – святое дело. Мы вывозили их из зоны конфликта, спасая их жизни и здоровье. Вот что происходило. Никто не собирался никаких детей куда-то там разлучать с семьями.
The public face of the operation is Maria Lvova-Belova, Russia's presidential commissioner for children's rights, and the only other person named in the ICC's arrest warrant.
Им нужны были такие просто непререкаемые доказательства того, что Россия страшная страна. И они использовали для этого, самую сакральную тему детства.
On social media, she posts about placing Ukrainian children with Russian foster families. We made multiple requests to interview Lvova-Belova. She never agreed.
Are you negotiating directly with the Russians? Are you negotiating directly with Maria Lvova-Belova's office?
No, we are not. For us, these people are war criminals. If Putin tomorrow will say, release all of them, they will be released.
Around the time Nikita was taken, as Ukrainian forces reclaimed territory, the NGO Save Ukraine began rescue missions to bring home Ukrainian children.
It was our first rescue mission in September 2022, and we returned maybe first 8 children. And then we understood that, wow, we can do it. We can rescue more kids.
We met Mykola Kuleba, Save Ukraine's CEO, at one of their shelters near Kyiv.
It is our special center for children and families who've been abducted.
So this is the first place they come.
Yeah.
When they come back, they sleep, they
Yeah.
shower here, they
and
eat here.
and 3 months program. Всім привіт, привіт, привіт! We found children who've been traumatized. Russians told them, your parents don't need you, and you will stay here for years. You can imagine what children can feel after these words.
Why is Russia specifically targeting children?
First of all, to destroy Ukrainian identity. It's a main Russian goals, task to re-educate them, to Russify, indoctrinate Ukrainian children, because they need Ukrainian children, but they want to make them Russian children first. That's why after they occupied territories, it was very important to show children that it's new rules, guys. Welcome to Russia Empire.
Save Ukraine's 24-hour hotline gets more than 100 calls a day, mostly from desperate families looking for information. Military-aged men are banned from leaving the country, so it's mothers, grandmothers, even godmothers who take the risk. Many of these mothers tell us there's no obvious pathway. Many from small villages in eastern Ukraine, already vulnerable with few resources, they didn't know who to ask for help. And that's where Save Ukraine steps in, offering guidance, providing the funding and planning to find their children and hopefully bring them home.
It's very important to find these children in time, because if these children will be adopted, they will disappear.
The Ukrainian government says at least 386 Ukrainian children have been brought back since February 2022. Of those, Save Ukraine says their team has returned 176. Back in March of this year, Save Ukraine reunited 15-year-old Artem Zhornik with his mother Natalia. Of the 13 kids taken from Kupiansk Special School, Artem was the 8th to return home. In a statement to NBC News, Maria Lvova-Belova said 13 children from Kupiansk were taken out from under shelling and transferred to the Pereval Special Correctional School on September 14th, 2022. That's even deeper into Russian-occupied Luhansk. Artem told Save Ukraine the kids were hiding in a basement when Russian soldiers took them at gunpoint and bust them out of the city. He also said there were more kids from Kupiansk still at the Pereval school, and one of those kids was Oksana's son, Nikita.
Слезы пузырями, сопли. Была довольна, честно, что он живый и здоровый.
Приветствует вас Перевальский интернат!
On the school's social media account, there are videos of kids dressed up, singing patriotic Russian songs. There are also photos of Nikita and Artem in a classroom. In one of those photos, boys in military uniforms, Artem with a Z on his sleeve, a popular Russian symbol of support for the invasion. The city of Perevalsk is just about 200 miles from Kharkiv, but getting there through Ukraine was impossible through dangerous active fighting and a constantly moving front line. So to find Nikita, Oksana had to travel some 3,000 miles through 4 countries just to wind up pretty close to home.
Да было страшно. Я вообще даже не представляла себе, как я туда попаду. Тут в Харькове, ходишь, блукаешь. Конечно, страшно. А то еще и в Белоруссию, еще и в Польшу. И вот так вот вся тряслась перед каждым кордоном.
We provide trainings because It is very dangerous to go there, and they had to be prepared for interrogation of FSB.
Save Ukraine is protective of their methods, the ways they get kids back. They say that the FSB and Russian intelligence agencies are on the lookout for their volunteers. They use trusted contacts, even lawyers inside Russia, to help facilitate the return of Ukrainian kids.
I'm trying to figure out a little bit why Russia is giving them back.
They are not giving them back. We're taking them back. They don't want to give any child. Katya.
The day we met Kuleba in Kyiv, Oksana was already inside Russia.
Busy day?
Very busy, yeah. It's very not emotionally stressful day because we have 7th rescue mission just now, and we have a huge problem with that. FSB, Russian security services, took several mothers to a prison, and they interrogated them 2 days. We found that it's harder and harder to return any child because it's...
Since the ICC order?
Yes.
Why is that?
Yes. Because Russians understand now that each case is valued for ICC, for Ukrainian, for future court.
Each case could be evidence.
It's not could be evidence. It's evidence. Each case, it's evidence of war crime.
Just hours after we spoke with Kuleba, a pro-Kremlin media channel posted a report about Oksana and her son.
Никита сегодня встал пораньше и до завтрака уже успел собрать вещи, рюкзак с одеждой и сумку с игрушками.
Сначала вещи, потом уже игрушки.
Долгая дорога из Харькова, 4 пересадки. С сыном они потерялись прошлой осенью. Никита жил в Купянске, в интернате. Его и еще 13 детей вывезли в безопасное место российские военные.
Near the Russian border, inside the Russian-occupied region of Luhansk, the report says Oksana was finally able to reunite with Nikita 8 months later.
Долгая дорога и, наконец, встреча с мамой на границе ЛНР и Ростовской области. Дальше уже вдвоем.
Lvova Belova told us the school had been looking for Oksana and other Ukrainian parents. But Oksana says she never heard from anyone at the school or the Russian government.
Это не передать словами. Ну, как всегда, сопли, радости, что он ревет, что я реву. Вообще-то да, мне сказал Никита. Мама, я тебя искал. Со слезами на глазах, когда я его только встретила. Я думал, что ты уже умерла, тебя нету. А я ему тоже сказала, я думала, что ты уже не живой.
Kuleba introduced us to Nikita a few days after he returned to Kyiv.
How long was he gone for?
Скільки він був там? Скільки ви...
Ну, с 1 сентября. Я его не видела, а сколько он там был, я не знаю.
September.
What's it like to be back?
Oksana wanted to be close to home, so she and Nikita moved back east to Kharkiv. It's been a tough transition.
Is this your flight ticket to Moscow?
Да, то я так, можно его выкинуть. На память.
This is your history.
На память, на самолете первый раз полетала.
You hadn't seen him since September. What did you notice as a mom?
Характер видно, что изменился в характере. Вообще он какой-то скованный стал. Раньше такой был беспредельщик, что не дай бог. А сейчас уже на него только голос повысишь, все, он уже сидит, плачет. Видно, там в строгости держали.
A year later, Oksana's heard from other mothers that 11 of the 13 kids taken from Kupiansk that day have now returned home to Ukraine.
What would you say to other mothers? We're in contact with another mother whose son and daughter were also at the school.
Щоб я порадувала, щоб не боялися. Мені теж було страшно, но я ж и поехала. Это мой ребенок. И то, что они забрали, это наши дети. И они не имеют права их там держать.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.